It's 2024, and there's a presidential election coming up on the horizon. Donald Trump is still in the race, despite what seems like a year of efforts to remove him. At this point, we've got state courts in Maine and Colorado trying to remove him from the ballot, arguing that the events of January 6th constituted an insurrection against the United States, thus making him constitutionally ineligible.
President Trump's directing express efforts over several months, exhorting his supporters to march to the Capitol to prevent what he falsely characterized as an alleged fraud on the people of this country, were indisputably overt and voluntary. Moreover, the evidence amply showed that President Trump undertook all these actions to aid and further a common unlawful purpose that he himself conceived and set in motion: prevent Congress from certifying the 2020 presidential election and stop the peaceful transfer of power.
Banning Trump from the ballot might be Biden's only shot. At this point, only 39% of the public approves of the job that his administration is doing. That's up from 37% in October and November. Approval ratings for the White House have been stuck below 40% for months. So now, Joe Biden, who insists he's still running in 2024 despite his age and unpopularity, is informing us that if Donald Trump gets back into office, it will be the end of American democracy.
But now, I don't think anyone doubts our democracy is even more at risk in 2024. And I'm serious, because this time we're running against an election denier-in-chief. Trump's not even hiding the ball anymore. He's telling us exactly what he wants to do. He's making no bones about it.
Trump and his supporters see this as nothing but a blatantly partisan move to secure his re-election.
It's no wonder crooked Joe Biden and the far-left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They are willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win this election. Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. It's a threat.
Trump isn't just blowing smoke. Biden's unpopularity is rooted in some very serious problems that the country is facing, which he is not really fixing. So why is the White House tanking in the polls? Well, you've got the U.S.-Mexico border and the chaos happening there. 5.5 million illegal crossings since Biden took office. He didn't start the problem, but he's not fixing it. We've got some of the highest rates of crossing in recorded history. And then there's the ballooning national debt, $31 trillion. That's 120% of the entire U.S. economy. The country is more or less bankrupt, but we've got Biden coming up with more and more crazy schemes to spend even more money. On top of all of that, you've got inflation. The dollar is worth less and less. Food prices and the cost of other necessities are rising. It hasn't been this bad since the days of Jimmy Carter. America's working families are getting wiped out, and Donald Trump's rhetoric has anything but cooled since leaving office. His 2024 campaign is promising payback. I am your retribution, is what he's been saying when speaking to his supporters. He's promising sweeping action against those who oppose him.
We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections and will do anything possible. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream.
He's assuring the public he will have matters like the economy easily resolved.
When I'm back in the White House, I will immediately unleash energy production, slash regulations like I did just 3 years ago, and repeal Biden's tax hikes to get inflation down as fast as possible, and it will go quickly, so that interest rates can get back under control. I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. In fact, I did it twice when you think about it, and now we will have to do it again.
He says the Russia-Ukraine conflict will be fixed as well.
I will get the problem solved, and I will get it solved in rapid order, and it will take me no longer than 1 day. I know exactly what to say to each of them. I got along very well with them.
The efforts to prosecute Donald Trump and keep him off the ballot have certainly raised eyebrows internationally. The United States, after all, frequently criticizes countries that engage in similar shenanigans during election season. Russian President Vladimir Putin couldn't let this obvious hypocrisy go unnoticed.
Regarding the persecution of Trump, it is good for Russia because it shows all the rottenness of the American political system, which cannot pretend to teach others democracy. What is happening with Trump is the politically motivated persecution of one's competitor. That's all it is.
Despite low approval numbers, the White House gives the impression that they believe they will win at the polls in November. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is adamant that he is the legit winner of the 2020 elections and that he will win in 2024 despite the indictments and everything else. The 2024 election is gearing up to be a real circus. Not just mainstream media, but also us here at RT will be along for the ride. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.